MS4, and today we're battling the FOMO of all the holiday Valentine's Day launches that are going on. It started out with the Pat McGrath launch, and I had to dig into that a little bit to see if I actually wanted anything from that launch or not. And then the joke was on me with that, because the one item that I decided that I wanted, which was the Satin Allure lip colors, don't launch until next month. So that was pretty easy. I decided against the eye palettes because most of the colors that I was interested in were ones I already had in my Bridgerton palette, and then the other ones I've just been having issues lately with some of the Pat McGrath launches not being able to go deep enough for where I want them, for what I'm looking for in my color stories. So I ended up passing on that one. And it made me think, especially when we started getting hit with the Natasha Denona leak, where you only have a split second to decide, do you want the palette or not? And when I started thinking about it, it was like, no, actually I don't. I did not purchase either of the last 2 years of the Valentine's Day launches, and I'm okay with that. And so it was like, that was one of those tests of that button that gives you the satisfaction. You get all the exciting endorphin rush that feels really good. It's like, oh, you got to get it fast. Fear of missing out. You got to do it quick or you won't get it, because this is a leak. It's so exciting. But I ended up talking myself down from that. And then other launches come out. ColourPop came out with their Valentine's Day one. And I was looking through, I ended up not purchasing that because I had gotten already the Not a Box of Chocolates palette this fall, and I love this, and this is a better Valentine's Day story for me. And I love, even though this is a neutral palette, like the fact that it looks like a box of chocolates with the imprints, and it's got these wonderful tones, and their shimmers are really great in this one. It goes very, very deep. I love the fact that the names, you've got your cacao, and just all the ganaches, and just, it's a lot of fun. But I really love how this performs, and so I got that itch scratched with ColourPop from before, so I didn't need to pick that up. And I also didn't really need the pinks and the reds from that, because I have my Glamlite Strawberry Shortcake palette that I pulled up and really love that. Plus I have the greens in it as well, but I've got those pinks and the lovely deeper, more reddish shades. So I felt pretty good about missing out on that. That was okay. And I also, from that Strawberry Shortcake collection, had got the blush from Glamlite, which is in that light pink. And with the Pat McGrath, because the blushes in that launch were re-promotes of Fleurtatious, which is a pretty color, but the packaging stayed the same, this black packaging, and it's only the outer carton that ended up shifting. And I actually like this original carton better than I like this new Love Collection outer packaging. And I'm always annoyed at this outer packaging anyway when they do this, because you have to store it in this if you want to keep this prettiness, and then you have to pull it out of its packaging every time you want to use it. So anyway, I wasn't really excited about the packaging, and plus I had it, and I had a better packaging, so that was not a problem. And then with the Charlotte Tilbury launch happening, now she did get me with that one, because I ended up just this morning picking up the Pillow Talk in the matte version of the Beauty Light wands, and so that'll be coming my way. But it was less of a FOMO for Valentine's Day, but more of I really would like to try that formulation and see what I think about it. So I did pick up that. As I was going through my collection, though, it's like I don't really need any highlighters. This is from Ofra, the X's and Glows, and it's got 4 different shades. Now these are ones that you can get separately, and because this is a little darker, I had tried swirling it today, first when I was first doing my blush and my highlighter, and the only thing is this gets to be too dark if I'm swirling, and so I had to take that off and then redo it, and redo the blush, because the blush I like to do without contour or bronzer when I do it, so I can just get that pink read to it, that dusty pink. And so if you're careful with this, you can get into the other shades, and if I was wearing a bronzery look, then I would be less afraid to swirl with that, because it wouldn't matter that this was showing up as much with the cast to it. But I got this during Valentine's Day last year, so on the whole I was like, okay, so the only thing I really wanted from the Pat McGrath launch was the Satin Allure lipsticks, because even though the packaging, maybe people don't like it, it's a little lighter than her normal lipstick packaging, and it's maybe cutesy, but this is just a wonderful formulation. And it just was one of those things, it's like I was ready, I was poised to go on the website that morning, Thursday, no, it was Friday morning, and purchase the lipsticks, and maybe I put something else in my cart, I don't know. It's like the end stands when you get to leave out the grocery store, but surprise, the lipsticks were not going to be available till late February, so okay, I didn't pick up anything, but I will come back for this. The color that she's putting out is with the Satin Allure, is the Nude Venus, and this is in more of the shimmery balm formulation. This is a little mini that comes in a set, but I like the color, and so I think I'm going to be really excited to pick this up in the satin formula, because it's going to give you just slightly less glossy and more opaqueness is my guess. And so I'm excited about that. This is an interesting packaging, because this is, if you push this up, this is how your lip product goes up and down rather than twirling. So that was kind of interesting. So this was from the little minis set. Came with a mini lip gloss and a mini lip liner in the Nude Allure. The color that I did today, this is the, let's see, Veiled Rose in the cooler toned. The ones in the blue packaging were the cooler tones. And it has a lovely, just a slight bit of like a plumping look on your lips. It's not stingy or minty or anything like that, but it just seems like the emollients and the things in it are a little bit in that kind of plumping, lovely look. Today I used a lip liner, because what I'm finding is this side of my face is always uneven, and I have a smaller lip line on it, but it seems like even more recently that's been more obvious to me. So I've been using a lip liner to kind of compensate for that. This is from the Barbie collection from Glamlite. This is the blue one. So it's a brownish rosy tone of that. Now, what did I want to do for the eye palette? Like I said, I could have gone in with the Pat McGrath, the Xbridgerton for the eye look, but I wanted something, I wasn't necessarily feeling pink and red today. I was feeling more of the purpley tones. So what I did was I went to the Glamlite Mikayla palette, and I have a number of purple eyeshadows I could have done this with, but I was feeling in that vein today. So I went ahead and used the entire row here. And I started from doing the mattes from lightest to deepest. And I tried to go pretty high with these colors. My eyes are feeling pretty hooded today. They're normally hooded, but especially today with my sinuses being what they are, and I'm a little puffy. So I wanted to make sure that you could still read the colors on this. So went pretty high with this, and then to your mid crease, to your corner, and then the corner, and then I lined it on the bottom also with that. Put this shimmer in the inner tear duct corner, and then this shimmer tapped it on the lid a little closer to the edge to kind of blend out the shimmers into the mattes. But mascara aside, I really do enjoy this palette. It makes a lot of noise. But other than that, the Glamlite formulations of the larger palettes I really like. And this is just slightly larger than my my magnetic Tarte palette, in which I have all my KVD stuff in it. My blushes and my contours and bronzers of that. So it's just slightly larger. So it doesn't hit that size yet where I'm like, it's, you know, untenable for my collection. But sorry, you're getting all the reflection. But I really like the Glamlite formula, and I was wanting the purple look. So get a little closer, don't panic. So this is the look. You've already seen this. But I did go ahead and fix my blush because I got too much of the darker shade with that. I don't always try and shop my stash to get rid of the FOMO, but I felt like each one of these Valentine's launches, while feeling exciting at first, ended up at closer, you know, look at it as things that really weren't going to be fulfilling for me. That in the end I was going to be sad that I had spent money, and I would not have that feeling of excitement when I went to go use them that I did with the things that I had in my collection already. So while I'm not always that, you know, you should chop your stash to keep the FOMO away, this time I was, because of all the launches. The two things that I really was interested in when I stopped and tried to take that breath and get less excited about things, the things that I really was interested, where I actually had real desire, was the Pat McGrath Satin Allure lip, and the Charlotte Tilbury the matte blush in the Beauty Light wand. And so the Charlotte Tilbury I ordered. The Pat McGrath, when we get to the end of February, I will order that. And I think that's really, you know, the main thing with all of this is just to give us enough time to take a couple deep breaths and to just calm down, to say, okay, I'm really excited, but is this really exciting? Like, is the core of it actually exciting? Or am I getting pulled into this, you know, emotion of like, oh, it's fabulous and fancy and new and Valentine's and it's love. And I don't want to be a curmudgeon and say, you know, love. But I do want to take a look at it and go, where is my actual desire? What's actually going to make me happy? And in this case, we're gonna see if, in case, you know, like, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll get the Charlotte Tilbury blush back, and it just will not be all that I thought it might be, but it might be. And I already know that I like the Pat McGrath lip formula, so it's just going to be a question of, you know, how does the color read on me, and with the Charlotte Tilbury, how does that formula perform on the cheeks, and does that color suit me? So anyway, I just got one of them. I got the Pillow Talk, not because I love Pillow Talk, but I feel like that's the color that probably will suit me the best, and I didn't want to get multiples of them until I knew that the formulation was going to be okay, because that's one of those things. It's like that Pokemon gotta catch 'em all feeling. It's like, oh, look at those pretty colors, I should have all of them. It's like, well, maybe, but only if the actual product works and works well. And with Charlotte doing the matte eye creams, that didn't go so well for people. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hold off and get one. So anyway, just showing you some of the stuff that I used to create my, you know, ode to Valentine's Day look, and how I was trying to fight this FOMO, and what I actually decided that I had some real desire for, not just the smoke and mirrors and the advertising and the, you know, festive spirits. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. We'll check back in. We don't have to worry too badly about holiday launches. We're gonna get some summertime things, some spring and summer. You've all probably seen the Shortcake, the "Oh, we're so springy" launch. We're gonna get some of those, but I feel like they don't have the pull that like the Valentine's Day does, because that whole FOMO, like, to, you know, the whole holiday is based around that whole, like, do you have the feeling of love? If you don't have the feeling of love, you know, you're not doing it right. So anyway, there's, you know, 364 other days of the year, so we're gonna be okay. Anyway, hope you're all doing well and fighting the FOMO, checking your collection to see if there's things that you like just as well. And, you know, let me know down below, how are you feeling? How did you make it through or not make it through the Valentine's Day launches that came out? We'll compare notes, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye.